Doug Wilkerson with Saturday Night Live, Life Recovery Ministry, and I should have said and Central Christian Center first. But hey, I've been off a few weeks. I had several things come up. I wasn't for sure if I was going to say yes. My wife and I both had COVID, so we kind of been out of the system a little bit. But here I am. We're ready to go, and I have a encouraging word for you today. So, and the thing that I want to do here with these videos is I just want to help you. I want to try to give you some peace, some strength, some hope, maybe able to receive some forgiveness, to be able to have a better life. And that's what it's all about. So today I am going to be sharing a topic, and my title is How to Accept Yourself, Your Life, and Your Reality. Now, that's a pretty big, tall order, but I'm going to say that again. How to accept yourself, your life, and your reality. You'll never be able to create a right reality if you are not willing to let go of the wrong reality. How's that? So today I have 11. I'm doing something new today, so I'm having to. They just walked. Whitney, my daughter, just walked me through it. So anyway, you can see me and also some of my information here. I have 11 ways to cope with reality, and we're going to be talking about those a little bit today. And so I'm going to go through all of them, and I don't think I'm going to get through all of them today because I feel like I've been going way too long. So hopefully I can go 20 minutes, something like that. That's my plan. So, but here's the 11 things. I'm going to go through them and kind of introduce them to you. So number one, and you can see it on the screen there, I believe, and accept yourself. Now, this is, I call this a growth step. This is where personal growth comes in. And so to accept yourself, for most of us, self-acceptance can be hard. It shouldn't be, but it seems to be. At least I had to work on that very hard myself. So number two, acknowledge your reality. You have to accept the state of things, not your idea of the way it should be. So we have to acknowledge your reality. Oftentimes we want to live in fantasy land or pretend to be something else. Or anyway, we'll talk more about that when we get into that. So accept your reality. Number three, practice radical honesty. This is an action step or something that you need to do. So practice radical honesty. Don't lie to yourself. Oftentimes we may not know what is true, but a majority of the time we know what is false or what's a lie. So, and if you know that, just don't do that, and you have a greater possibility of telling yourself the truth. Nietzsche says that truth serves life. And so if we let truth serve us, we'll have a better life. So you want to build your life on lies, or do you want to build your life on truth? That is a real guidepost to help you to navigate through life. What do you want to build your life on? Truth or lies? So practice radical honesty. Honesty with yourself, okay? Number four, identify your part you played. So we need to identify our part of this. We need to identify our side of the street. What did we do? What we didn't do? Things like that. We'll talk more about that later. So identify your part you played, and it's an action step. Okay, something to do. Number 5, admit your mistakes. Now there's a good one, right? And that's an action step also. So we need to admit our mistakes because we need to remember what you can't remember that you can't fix anything until you admit there's a problem. There you go. We have to first be aware so that we can see that the problem, so that we can fix the problem. But you can't fix it if you're not accepting it, and if you're not in reality. If you're in a fantasy or distortion or a preference, or you see through the lens of maybe abuse or whatever. Then you're not in reality. You're in a non-reality. So admit your mistake. Number 6, I think that's where I was. Yes. Number 6, own your outcomes. Own your outcomes. This is an action step. I've said many times, I am responsible. Okay. I may have not done it, but I'm responsible. Often, when in the church organization or in the business that I'm in, no matter what happens, whether if I do it physically or if somebody else does it, I am responsible. And I remember the day that I realized that I needed to take responsibility, and responsibility helps you then to be able to deal with things. So we have to own our outcomes, and we have to take responsibility. Okay. So number 7, don't let fear get in your way. Don't let fear get in your way. This is an action step. We can't let fear interrupt us. We need to recognize it. I like what Dr. White said, you need to feel the fear, but do it anyway. You need to know that it's there, and you have to act appropriately, but that doesn't mean that you stop. You deal with it. Okay. All right. Let's go forward. Number 8, count on your competencies. Those things that you're good at, those things that you're talented at, those things that you're adapted at, you need to count those. You need to recognize them. And we'll talk about that more later. Number 9, let go of your biases. Those things that you're biased towards or against. And yes, we have to do that for outside of ourselves. But the biggest thing about in reality is how I'm biased towards myself or against myself. I limit myself, or I see myself as not being able to do that. We need to understand. We need to let go of those things that we have, those biases or old statements that we have rolling around our head that they live there rent free. Some people say. So number 10, accept that struggles will always be part of your reality. Accept that struggles, listen to me, and you know this to be true, even though we don't want to accept it. We think there's something wrong with us if we have struggles, but it's reality. We'll talk about even what Jesus said about that. Okay. He said, accept that struggles will always be part of your reality. Number 11, make a plan for reaching your goals. You got to make a plan. If you don't make a plan, then you're going to follow the plan that you don't have. So make that plan and continue that plan. All right. And we'll talk more about that as we go forward. And really, I'm probably just going to introduce this today and then come back and hit some of these. So I'm going to switch this all back over here. And there we go. All right. And see where because we'll be talking about some of those things we introduced. So today we're going to be talking about reality. Now, reality is a complex, big subject, and I'm not going to be able to cover it all by any way, shape, or form. Okay, and by the way, I don't know everything. But I do study hard to try to be able to find things that I can communicate that will help people, help you, all right, to make a difference in your life. And so we're going to be talking about reality, and through the years, I know that really one of the biggest problems is not accepting reality, or another way of saying it, not accepting the truth, which is reality. Okay. And so I have this little saying here. It says, change causes crisis, and crisis causes change. Okay. Change causes crisis, because when there's a change, when there's a change and when there's a reordering or a change, it causes a crisis. That means you have to relearn, you have to re-navigate, you have to readjust everything, and then like we said, and then crisis causes change, because then crisis comes up and we have to figure out what we need to do. The trouble is, a lot of people live in the zone of crisis management. They have to have a crisis before they do anything. And if we don't make changes and then introduce that disorder in our life, and that puts us in a better path. So tolerance and acceptance does not equal approval. I want to hit that right off the top here. Tolerance and acceptance doesn't equal that you approve of it. Okay, and we'll hit that several times. You have to accept it. Okay, you have to accept reality the way that it is. You have to accept it, but you don't have to like it. Okay, now that may sound weird, but see, you have to accept what is. Okay, for you to be able to deal with things, but you don't have to like it. To be able to change these dynamics in our life, we have to first become aware. Now, that's the first step of all recovery. Okay, is the light bulb has to go on, and you have to become aware. Oh my goodness, I've done this all my life, and I just now found out that it was wrong. And as soon as you do that, you feel very insecure, and you feel embarrassed, and because now you realize that everybody else may have known, but you didn't know. But now you know, and now that you know, now you are able to recognize it, and you either have to accept it or reject it. But if you're going to go on and grow, you have to then become aware and then accept what you become aware of. You don't have to like it, but you have to accept it. Why do you accept that even though you don't like it? It's because you want to be able to impact that or to change it. Okay. And so that's the process. That's how you do it. So I want to review that point right there, because it's so important. And I know it may be tedious to some of you, but I want to review that just a little bit. And the first step in making a change is to become aware. You have to become aware of what's going on. And a lot of people just live with blinders on. They totally try to deny everything, and they think that's going to make things better, because if I don't see it, then it's not real. But that's not true. How's that work out with a bus coming down the road? Okay. Ostriches have found out that sticking your head in the sand, that doesn't take away the threat. You just don't see it until it gets you. Okay. So you need to become aware. So the first step to making a change in your life is to become aware, and then you can accept that. We don't have to like it, like I said, but you accept that that's what's going on. That's reality. Yes, that's the truth. All right. even though some people get bills in the mail maybe about their electricity, and they say they're going to be shut off. So what they do is they hide those bills down under in a drawer underneath everything, because if it's hidden, then I don't really have it. But the fact of it is, then they'll find out that they'll come and shut your electricity off. Okay, so hiding your bill or denying reality doesn't change reality. Okay, all right. All it does is then actually you don't deal with it. You don't address it. Okay, so you have to accept what's going on so that you can impact it or change it or affect it. Okay, so that's what reality is. And if you're ready to make a life change, and you say, why does this always comes and gets me, and we have to step into reality and begin to address reality. And so, because you are supposed to direct your life by your choices, and I talk about choices all the time, and man, I'm running out of time. So I want to read this quote, because this is Viktor Frankl, which is one of my favorite guys. He was a prisoner in the Germany, Second World War, Germany death camp, Auschwitz. He was in several. But he said this, he says, when you are no longer able to change a situation, and he was in a situation that he could not change, at least he was in this death camp, we are challenged to change ourselves. And we're all in situations. In fact, we're in a situation in our country, in our world today. If we just talk about our country or our world about with COVID or all the different things that's going on and the emotional upheaval, and so our best choice is to be in reality where we're at, deal with what I have with me that's good for me, good for my family, good for my community. Because if it's good for me, it's good for my family, it's good for my community. That has an effect, okay? And things are ordered better, and things then do get better, because within our dealing with what we have control in. And Franco here was talking about adapting to reality. You have to recognize what it is so that you can adapt in it, so that you can function in it in the best way that you can. Okay, and that leads me to the Serenity Prayer. Okay, and the Serenity Prayer is a real reality guide. It's and probably a lot of you are familiar with the Serenity Prayer. We're only going to talk about the first little part of it, and that is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that is to help us to find what reality is. And we're asking for God's serenity or peace in our lives, to accept the things that we cannot change. Okay, what is it we can't change? Well, basically everything outside our skin. And what can we change? Well, basically what we have the greatest influence over is everything inside our skin, even though we're not very good at that. We would prefer oftentimes to try to manage stuff on the outside instead of really dealing with the stuff on the inside. And that's what we're talking about today, about reality, accepting yourself, accepting your life, accepting reality, is really dealing with the stuff on the inside. Because if we make the adjustments on the inside, then that affects everything on the outside. Okay, you can call that salvation, redemption, renewal, recovery, all kinds of different. It's all the same thing, but it's coming in to appropriate alignment with God, the truth, and ourselves, our mind, our will, and our emotions to line up with the truth. And if we do that, then we have really an opportunity to steer our life. Now, I know there's going to be some that would say, wait a minute, that's supposed to be entirely up to God. Yes, he said he would lead you and guide you in all truth. Yes, but he also says that be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, where you make choices. And yes, there is that aspect of God where we are to we have free will, and then there's that other equally as important aspect of where that you have choice. And so, and hopefully I said that right. You have. I said them both the same. You have choice, and the other is then you have divine direction, and you have both of those. And I know this messes up a lot of people. You have both of those working in your life at the same time, and where they intersect, sometimes people really have a difficult time with that intersection. And I've been wanting to talk about that, and maybe here shortly I'll be able to share a video along that line and share in that area. And I know I promised that before, but I haven't got to it yet. And so what we need to do here is we according to this Serenity Prayer, we need to accept what we do have control over and deal with that, and accept the fact that we don't have any control over, and we have to accept that. And we need to spend more time with what we do have control over instead of what we don't have. Okay, the wisdom to know the difference. All right, today, again, my title has been, how do you accept yourself, your life, and reality? And accepting this reality of life sounds real easy. It sounds simple, okay? But the fact of it is, many people have a hard time with it because they have a particular view of life that doesn't line up with reality. Okay, they're continually trying to force reality to line up with them. And how's that working out for you? Okay. Yes, there is a place where you can affect your reality, but you first have to accept where you're at and what's going on and the elements that you're dealing with, and then accept them and then deal with them. But until you get those things lined up in your life, you're definitely you're just going to be picked up and pushed around all your life. And many of you sadly are in that place, and you have bought into the belief that you're a victim, and that's sad. And that's not what I want. That's not what Central Christian Center wants. That's not what Pastor Hank wants. That's not what God wants, because we want you to have freedom. We want you to have a victorious life. And I believe that if you will allow the Holy Spirit to lead you, and that you will listen to some of the things that I'm saying, and hopefully recognize the truth. And if it's not true, then hey, throw it away, put it on the shelf, come back to it later, or whatever. But I believe it to be true, or I wouldn't be saying that. Okay, so I've been over 20 minutes here, and so I want to stop right there, and I'm going to come back to this next week. Hey, as slowly as I'm going through this, I may have to do it a couple of weeks, but anyway, we'll see what happens. But anyway, hopefully introducing this topic to you can help you to start down this path and maybe think about some of the things I've said today about reality and the Serenity Prayer, maybe what Nietzsche said about truth serves life, and that what is it that you want to build your life on, truth or lies? You say, well, I don't know what the truth is. If you'll stop and just ask yourself, is that the truth? Whatever it is that maybe you're thinking or somebody said. And a lot of times, because the Spirit of truth is in you, okay, He will help you to know that. And maybe it's just a little small voice on the inside. But if we start focusing on that truth, that voice, that truth voice will get bigger and help us. It works. It works. He will lead you and guide you, but only if you're willing to listen, seek that. So until next time, hey, I didn't get as far as I want, but until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and may his face shine upon you and give you his peace. Please make healthy choices. It will be in your best interest, I think. So till next time, till next Thursday. How about that? Hopefully next Thursday. Have a good day.